Hand the baton from the boys on over to the ladies. Let's go to the fillies. They're going to be running on Friday. So the boys race is on Friday. That's the bluegrass. We'll go back in time. The boys race is on Saturday, the bluegrass. We go back in time to Friday, Alexa. The traditional opening day feature at Keeneland is the grade 1 Ashland. So this is for the fillies to try to get their Kentucky Oaks points to qualify. Remember, the Kentucky Oaks is run the Friday right before the Kentucky Derby. So let's take a look at some of the top Kentucky Oaks. Weekend for the fillies. It's going to be on Friday. It's the grade 1 Ashland, and we start things out, Alexa, with the number 1 Look Forward, who's one of the bigger prices in this race, 20-1 on the morning line, and she just kind of has to step it up a little bit early. I don't really know how good she is or how far she wants to go, but she has faced some of the best fillies in this group. You see Quiet Side. You also see Tenma earlier on in her career. Can you give her a shot in here at a big price?
So, Gino, I'm curious because I haven't considered her a whole lot because she's cross-entered in the Santa Anita Oaks this Saturday out in California, which is where she's been training.
It's a great point.
I would be surprised. I don't know. Do you know if they're shipping her out here? Because
especially with the weather
forecast,
and the smaller field at Santa Anita, it would just make a whole lot more sense. So I think, especially since that's a smaller race, we can talk about her a little more when we preview the Santa Anita Oaks because it's smaller. But if she runs in here, I think it would be a tougher spot. She's got a much better spot to secure some points, I think, if she stays and runs at Santa Anita.
I think so, too. Now, I mean, if she does show up here and is 20-1, I think that's really too long of odds for her. So I might consider playing in my exotic bets from a value standpoint, but I don't think she's going to be here.
Number 2, Lucara. She's a grade 3 winner. She had a big win in the Pocahontas last year at Churchill Downs, and then she had a big win in the Suncoast at Tampa Bay Downs. She felt a little bit flat in her last race. She still ran fine, finishing second. I think it might have been that she ran such a big race in her first start of the year that she just regressed a little bit. I actually expect her to bounce back, but this is a tough group. This is probably tougher than most groups that she's faced.
Yeah, I think she's a little light on the speed figures. Her worst race was her first out ever, and that was in the slop, which is going to be a sloppy mess here on Friday. But it was also her first race out, so it's hard to say, like, oh, did she hate the slop, or was she just a green baby and didn't know what she was doing yet? But I do still think she's a little light on the speed figures as opposed to, like, the number 3, Super Speed, who is a super speed and switched to the dirt last out at Santa Anita in a grade 3 and ran a banging speed figure. Just missed that day, got second. This will be the first time out of California, though, so it will be a test. But I like the improvement on the 3 super speed.
Yeah, it was her first start on the dirt, too. So she has the ability to take another step forward off of that race. That's the 3 super speed. She comes in for trainer John Sadler. Joelle Rosario will be aboard. She's up at 4-1, about plus 400 on the morning line. Muhima was basically the top of the division before the Honeybee. She was 3 for 3, and then she finishes third in the Honeybee. But now, after about a month and a half, that third doesn't look all that bad because the 2 horses she finished behind, Alexa, they came right back to win their next start. Quiet Side came back to win the Fantasy. 5G went over and won the Gulfstream Park Oaks. So I still think Muhima is a solid filly. This is kind of the test for her to really see how far she wants to go, and maybe if she was like a precocious horse last year. But I'm expecting a big effort from her here.
Yeah, I mean, she's never not been the favorite in a race, and that's not going to change this weekend. I think We're second off of the layoff here, which trainer Brad Cox wins 30% of the time. She's definitely one to beat. She's never been over the wet surface, not even as much as a workout. So that I could see as a potential risk.
One thing that I'm curious about, Alexa, as we move to the number 5, Running Away, is that it does feel like Running Away has done her best races right on the lead. Muhima has done her best races when she's really close to the lead. Lakara, she ran her best races when she's right on the lead. I'm wondering if these fillies all want to try to get to the front. If they do, something's got to give, right? Because they can't all be up there getting the really soft front end trip. I respect Running Away. I just get a little bit concerned, that some of these really nice fillies all have similar running styles.
Yeah, I agree. She's going to get a lot of pace pressure from the inside, and I do think they're all going to want the lead. And especially with never being on wet surfaces, I mean, you don't want all that kickback in your face. So I think this is going to be a very speed-heavy race. I don't like Running Away at those odds.
And if you're looking at the early pace projection, the horse that you and I are both going to land on, it's a little bit of a teaser for our selections in about a minute when we finish the segment up. You and I are both on the 6, Take Charge, Milady, who we think is going to set a pretty good trip coming off the pace.
Yeah, she was entered in the fantasy last week, right? And scratched out of that race. And she was my top pick in there. She's won in the mud before, which is a big plus. Also won at this distance and is a really fast bullet workout in the mud coming into this race. 8-1 odds or plus 800. I think she's great value.
If you're wondering what happened in her last start, she had a brutal trip with a bunch of traffic, just put a line right through it and play her off her races before that. Amaranth is multiple stakes placed. I just have to see her kind of step up against a group like this, Alexa.
Yeah, she's got something no one else does, which is a win at Keeneland already.
Great point.
But I don't know if she's quick enough.
The number 8, Admit, wheels back in a few weeks. She was on the synthetic last time out. Can she make some noise in this spot?
She's come off the pace before, but this outside draw, the slop, I don't know. I'm passing.
Well, you and I got the top 2 similar here. We'll both put the 6 on top, and it really comes down to the trip. We're hoping they go fast early on. Take Charge, My Lady can come and mow them all down late. 6-4 for the both of us in the top 2 spots. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll head on over to Aqueduct.